if you do email the right way, you can create a relationship, with your audience.
Once you have that email, you can communicate them in so many different ways.
I think when people think about building a relationship, they look at it in a way that like, this person is going to want to come over and hang out with you. But really, what it means is like just having people on your list trust you. We got to stop thinking about trying to convince people who don't want your shit to buy your shit.
It's okay to send an email that may be wrong or may be controversial with somebody, but you got to send it to see.
But it's so true. Like, when you know what your audience, what they want to see, it's so easy just to put it in front of them.
Ever wonder how those e-commerce brands you admire do it? How they know just the right message to send to the right people at the right time? Guess what? It's not experience. They have the right data and the right tools. They have Klaviyo. Klaviyo's data-driven marketing automation platform is sophisticated enough to power those legendary campaigns from the brands you admire, but they made it simple, easy, and fast enough for anyone to use. Klaviyo helps brands easily create personalized multi-channel marketing campaigns using your most powerful asset, your customers' data. Klaviyo integrates with all leading e-commerce platforms, helping you use your customer data in real time to send more relevant emails and SMS automations. Plus, building a marketing campaign is drag and drop easy. You can get started with your first campaign in under an hour and easily build from there with Klaviyo's best performing templates. Klaviyo gives you all the power of an enterprise marketing automation platform and none of the complexity, so you can compete with the big guys. No wonder more than 65,000 brands can't get enough. To get started with a free trial of Klaviyo, visit klaviyo.com/uncensored. That's KLAVIYO.com/uncensored.
You're listening to E-Commerce Uncensored with Kevin Manel and Jason Caruso.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us on another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored. My name is Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso.
Before we get started, I want to mention again this new Done For You service, email service that we're working with. If you need help with email campaigns, flows, welcome series, abandoned carts, any of those things you have going on in your email platform, we want to help.
So even if you want to like change platforms, come to Klaviyo or stuff like that too.
Yeah, got a few people who texted us who are using Active Campaign and someone's using Square and things like that. So we just want to start that conversation with you if you need help. So if you text the word email to 844-643-0745 if you're interested in, learning more about this service that we're offering up.
Yeah, today, Kev, we get a lot of, it's funny because we get a lot of people asking us about email. This is like, and then, Facebook was hot and then we did a Facebook course and email seems like to be coming up a lot. And, this service, I think, is really good for those people who are just struggling a little bit to make money with their email, or they just want to tweak it a little bit. So yeah, I think it's a really cool thing that we're helping people out with. But aside from that, today's a pretty exciting day, especially for me.
Very exciting day.
Very exciting day. We have been working on a new product. This podcast, we've been doing it for almost 5 years, I think.
6 years.
6
years, I
years?
think. Coming up on
6
6 years, yeah.
And it's it's hard coming up with topics, it really is. But we started this new business. It's a golf business. I told you guys about this, or we've told you about this, and it's launching today. I'm so excited. I've been working on this freaking thing nonstop, day and night, and today is the day. So I'm really excited about that. But it leads us into today's topic because we are very bullish on Facebook ads. And when I say bullish, I don't mean in the sense where like I'm saying like it's the end all be all, it's the only way, any of that stuff. That's not what I mean. But using it to get attention is, it's a really effective tool. But it has been disrupted by Apple's new update. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's amazing how much it did disrupt the marketing sort of world, I'm really surprised that Apple hasn't gotten more blowback from it, because I feel like their users are creators and are marketers and are these people in business and those kind of things. Maybe just their audience, that makes up a small portion of them. So maybe that's why they haven't gotten blowback. But what we've found is that the days of making all those front end sales, I don't want to say that they're over. It's just going to be harder, or it is just harder to allocate or allocate the sale to Facebook or any other platform, because it's affected everybody.
Yeah, I think that it's amazing to look at the evolution as long as we've been doing this, Jason. And I think it's just like the almost like the regular evolution of any kind of marketing platform that becomes more mainstream. Like when the thing first comes out, it's like everybody's, will see an ad or hear an ad and they'll run and go get the product, or they'll go online and go get that product when it's new. But like as more and more people get involved in it, it becomes like the standard advertising platform, which it kind of is. I mean, if you're not advertising on Facebook, you're not in the place where your audience is. It's like being on TV, like, or radio. When radio first came out, it's like when you would hear a radio commercial, people would pull off the road and go buy something. It's that kind of thing. And as it becomes more and more available and people get more familiar with it and people see it more, when there's more distractions constantly from them, it just organically changes the way the ad platform works. And I think that's kind of what's happening, and something that we as marketers and as entrepreneurs and e-commerce store owners have to deal with and kind of work around.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think COVID also is playing a little bit of a part in some of this as well. I think the way people are buying is just different. With Facebook, there's a lot of drop shippers out there who will sell something on Facebook and it takes 30 days to get to the customer, or it never shows up because it's coming from China. And I think the more that happens, the more that people start to get a little bit more, skeptical. They start worrying a little bit more. So there's just a lot of things that happen as an ad platform such as Facebook evolves. And, we're just seeing like a shift between all the because it is really attractive to say, like, let me run an ad on Facebook and let me make millions of dollars on the front end. And, now I've quote unquote built a business. And, really the truth is, like, those days are kind of, I don't want to say they're ending, but they're definitely coming to a halt. We have clients that on Facebook we're getting, 15x returns and 20x returns, and that kind of stuff is just not seeing as much of it.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing is what, Kev?
And I think that instead of, because you could go crazy. Facebook can drive you nuts. It can piss you off, and you'd be like, Facebook sucks. It's not working for me. And I think that you can take that approach, or just kind of understand the process that this is now. That it's like Jason said, it's really difficult to make that front end sale. That like just showing somebody your product one time isn't good enough anymore, especially when there's so many other companies in your niche or similar to you that are dude, I'm like blown away. We were talking about this the other day. I went down to South Carolina last week. That's why we didn't record last week, but I went down to South Carolina to record this course that we're launching today, this golf project that we're working on. And we were sitting down, and I was like sitting at my phone, and I was like, I was shopping for a Jeep like a month ago. And like, I am still inundated with Jeep dealerships, pictures of Jeeps. And it's just like constant, like, and to put yourself in a position to separate yourself from everybody else that's out there doing that. And I think that's what's happening. Everybody's advertising on Facebook, a similar product to yours. So you have to be able to stand out and grab that attention and keep it and hold on to it and show people your product and your service over and over again. In order to, like, you have to earn that trust, right? That's one of the main things that customers struggle with when they see your product on Facebook.
Yeah, I think that relationship building has always been a thing. I just think that it's becoming more of a premium as this platform evolves. And I forgot who I was talking to about this, and they were basically saying, I think I was on somebody else's podcast actually, and I was basically saying, like, I don't really, or we don't really look at Facebook uh at their metrics that often anymore. We tend to use like our other platforms metrics. And what I mean by that is if we run a Facebook ad campaign that is a lead magnet type thing, we don't necessarily look at what Facebook is telling us. We go to our email platform, which is Klaviyo, and we see how many people came on the list for a particular day. So I don't really need Facebook to tell me, or even to track, or even for Klaviyo to track. I don't really need anybody to track that. I make a list or a segment, whatever it is, in Klaviyo, and then whatever it is for that day, that's how many people signed up. And then I can just reverse kind of calculate the return, right? We don't have to be. So it kind of leads me into what we're doing these days. So we're tending to get away from trying to do these front end sales. I mean, there are some clients that like want to see those front end sales, and that's fine. Like that's just part of it. But what our own businesses, whether it's the Journal of Wildlife Photography or jasoncaruso.com, which is the golf course, regardless of what it is, we are starting with the relationship first now, and doing mainly everything as lead generation to an email sequence with an offer.
Well, I think even those companies that do need the front end sales, you're still going to need front end sales, right? In a lot of cases, but you have to be in a position to do that. Like I said, your ad has to be shown to the same person over and over again. And that just gets so exponentially expensive after you're showing it to them over and over again, doing your retargeting, which you should be doing. And, front end sales will come. It's just, they're like Jason said earlier, it's going to come at a premium. So we like to focus on, being able to capture that relationship with an email or a lead gen, and then just
create a relationship,
through an email address, then you own it. That's what Klaviyo's motto was, like, own your customer or something like that, right? Or own your relationship or whatever it was. I can't remember. But once you have that email, you can communicate them in so many different ways, and understanding that relationship will grow over time. I know you're not much of a customer relationship kind of guy, but it's just a way of phrasing, you need to build that trust over a certain period of time, and it's not going to happen right away. Ever wonder how those e-commerce brands you admire do it? How they know just the right message to send to the right people at the right time? Guess what? It's not experience. They have the right data and the right tools. They have Klaviyo. Klaviyo's data-driven marketing automation platform is sophisticated enough to power those legendary campaigns from the brands you admire, but they made it simple, easy, and fast enough for anyone to use. Klaviyo helps brands easily create personalized multi-channel marketing campaigns using your most powerful asset, your customers' data. Klaviyo integrates with all leading e-commerce platforms, helping you use your customer data in real time to send more relevant emails and SMS automations. Plus, building a marketing campaign is drag and drop easy. You can get started with your first campaign in under an hour and easily build from there with Klaviyo's best performing templates. Klaviyo gives you all the power of an enterprise marketing automation platform and none of the complexity, so you can compete with the big guys. No wonder more than 65,000 brands can't get enough. To get started with a free trial of Klaviyo, visit klaviyo.com/uncensored. That's klaviyo.com/uncensored.
Well, it's not that I'm not a relationship type guy. I'm more of a numbers kind of guy. Like, I like to make money, and I like to make money now,
Right.
And
It's a relationship based on exchange of funds, basically.
right. But that's because that's all it really is. And it drives me a little crazy that, there are guys out there that believe that you really have a relationship with your list. Because I'm on a lot of lists and I don't have a relationship with any of these people.
Those are the guys making good money from their relationships.
Yeah. I mean, so like, it's not that I'm against it, but I will say that this new golf course that we're creating has definitely changed my perspective and kind of how I see things, because you and I really never had control over what we email and the courses we create and the products. We really have to take the lead from the client. But I have kind of shifted a little bit of my thought, is that like, if you do email the right way, you can create a relationship with your with your audience. And I know that sounds like counter to what I just said a few minutes ago, but I am changing my thought on that a little bit, because the people who do the emails or do email the right way, I do listen and pay attention to their emails, and I do feel like I know them, and I do feel like I've been taken into their world a little bit. Ryan Lee is one person that comes to mind. He sent an email every single day and he tells you what he's doing. And I kind of do feel like I do kind of know what's going on with him, and he does have my trust.
I think there's so much you can learn too from your customer that kind of can reflect on everything you do. Like when you send an email, if you can see the engagement, or you see people opening or clicking or whatever, or even responding to your emails, it gives you so much more of an opportunity to learn what other things you should be doing in other places. Just because you listen to your customer, listen to the data, and let the data drive what you do. It's really hard to do that on Facebook. I mean, you put an ad out there, you kind of look at the comments, and you get, and that's another thing that like with Facebook is like, I feel like everybody thinks everything's a scam. Like how many times do we run an ad and everyone's like, oh, it's a scam. You'll never get what you pay for. Like,
right.
That's not the, I had to like hold myself off from like responding to people like that, but that affects it as well. Everyone thinks that they're going to get scammed on something online, so they're hesitant to buy. But when you can capture an email address, like Jason said, and then you can communicate with them back and forth and build that relationship, build that trust. They can see you. Like how many times people have to see you? You have to figure that out too. 7, what Tony Robbins says, 16, 20.
Yeah, which is kind of like weird, because there's a whole bunch of people on our email list that's seen us 1,000 times who haven't purchased. But
everyone's not going to buy either. You're just always
I guess it's just yeah. But that the point is that even if you don't make front end sales on Facebook and you get an email address, you can make or turn them into a customer over time. It doesn't necessarily have to be right there and then. But I will say, like, it's funny because I'm really learning a lot from this journey, this golf journey, just learning how to write copy and learning how to communicate an email the right way and what to say, how to say it, when to say it. And it's really opened my eyes a little bit to just the possibilities. I mean, you can create easily a $3 to $5 million company just by email. I mean, Ryan Lee talks about creating a lifestyle business for between $1 and $3 million a year. I mean, I think there's no reason why it could be 3 million or 5 million. I mean, we see it all the time with our customers. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
It's just really interesting. Trusting. I think the main thing is trusting the process, having patience, knowing that, that sale might not come day one, and you may not even know what the right thing to say to your customer is day one or day 7 or whatever it is. Just, you got to continue to hit them with different messaging, different offers, whatever you need to do to build that trust and create that relationship. It's
amazing what you will learn just by doing. I know it's like sounds, foo-foo but it's amazing just doing something over and over, whether you like it or not, you eventually just get it. And I think I'm finding that with this new golf thing is like, I'm just understanding a little bit more how to communicate an email, how to build that quote unquote relationship. Because I think when people think about building a relationship, they look at it in a way that like, this person is going to want to come over and hang out with you. But really, and what it means is like just having people on your list trust you, and know what's going on in your life. And they just naturally sort of, will trust that over time. I think that's when I hear relationship, I think that's what people mean. Like anything else, like on like face value, like a relationship seems deeper than that, but really when it comes down to your list, it's just a trust thing, just getting people to trust from seeing you over and over.
It's hard to put yourself, you were saying it yesterday, is like you were kind of having and you said it this morning too, trying to put yourself in your customer's shoes and view it as them. It's a really hard thing to do. But if you can communicate with them, you can kind of begin to learn what you need to say to them. And you were even like, also, even people who know you, you said it to me, you sent your sales page to your buddy Mark, and he was like, well, I kind of know you, so it's kind of hard to, and you've told me this before, so it's kind of hard to evaluate what we're doing. I'm in the same position as Mark was. It makes it a hard thing, but just getting it out there and communicating with your customer or your email list can really help you evolve the way you say things.
Right.
Anyway, that's all I got for today. Jason, how about you?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I guess, the moral of the story is, this day and age, getting people on an email list, shifting your strategy a little bit from heavily front end sales to trying to get people on your list and not relying so much on Facebook or these other metrics that can't really be tracked anymore because of what Apple has done. Doing things that you don't really need Apple for, and that's getting people on an email list, sending emails, and seeing what kind of sales come out of it. We've actually changed our email platform from ConvertKit to Klaviyo for this golf business because ConvertKit, as cool as the platform is, it doesn't give you any data on the sales, and that's what we need to see is what kind of data we're getting from each email.
Yeah, I think the point to this podcast that we've been guilty of it too. Like it's like something that happens every time, because when you don't see those returns right away, it can get very frustrating and very hard to start a business, or even our agency side. Like our clients want returns, and it's really hard to say, well, maybe we'll get an email and we'll have to wait like 30 to 60 days to see if anything comes back. It's a really hard thing to do. We're not saying it's easy, but it's just a matter of patience and just sticking to the process.
Right.
All right, guys. So again, if you're looking for some help with your email, text the word email to 844-643-0745 to apply, basically to work with us. Sound good?
That's it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, you can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
Attention e-commerce founders, entrepreneurs, side hustlers, marketers, and growth hackers. If you're working around the clock to build your dream e-commerce business, you need an e-commerce marketing platform that works just as hard as you do. That means you need Klaviyo. With Klaviyo, you'll delight customers and drive revenue at the same time. With personalized email and SMS marketing campaigns, you can design and send in minutes. For more, visit klaviyo.com/uncensored. That's KLAVIYO.com/uncensored.